TVC News, first with breaking news.
Hello and welcome to Marketing Edge on TV, Nigerians' leading initiative in the business of brand management and the management of brand business. It is a 30-minute wholesome package that comprises brand news, branding focus, and industry conversation, all in a mix encompassing thorough and in-depth, all aimed at promoting the brand idea. I'm Ogali Abikele Mafuru.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand ideal.
Good to have you back. First on Marketing Edge on TV is Brand News, where we bring you the latest developments and happenings around brands and in the field of marketing, advertising and communication in Nigeria and around the globe. Now on Brand News. Stakeholders in the integrated marketing communications IMC industry has expressed optimism for the advertising business in Nigeria this year. Speaking to Marketing Edge on TV, the industry players affirmed that agencies will do excellently well in 2022 as they continue to demonstrate high level of creativity and innovation. The advertising experts noted that they expect advertising spend to increase this year as brand owners will invest more on brand visibility and strategic positioning. Immediate past president of the Outdoor Advertising Association of Nigeria, Owantunde Adedoyin, has lauded the paradigm shift in the Nigerian advertising ecosystem, which has propelled growth for the industry. According to Adedoyin, the shift has been accelerated and endorsed by the digital disruption, which has given birth to the strong and healthy competition amongst agencies, leading to the massive growth of the industry. The seasoned out-of-home advertising player pointed out that every functional economy is built by brands and that advertising can only record growth when the economy is well structured for businesses to thrive. He expressed optimism for an improved economy to enable a sustainable advertising growth in Nigeria. Practitioners in the integrated marketing communications IMC industry have expressed satisfaction for the excellent performance of agencies in the global arena, which was accompanied with plethora of awards and accolades for the country in 2021. Speaking separately to Marketing Edge on TV, CEO Extreme Ideas, President of the Association of Advertising Agencies of Nigeria, Steve Abayeko, and CEO of ARK noted that the global recognition in 2021 have put Nigeria on the global map for the best creative solutions, and that agencies are committed to more excellent creative campaigns this year. The advertising experts, who affirmed that Nigerian agencies demonstrated resilience and innovation in response to the challenges that accompanied the pandemic, urged the government to acknowledge the impact of the advertising industry in brand building, as these creative solutions are putting the nation on the global map. In a bid to build an advertising ecosystem devoid of gender bias and harmful stereotype among its practitioners, the Association of Advertising Agencies of Nigeria, AAN, has entered into a strategic partnership to launch the Nigerian national chapter of the UN Stereotype Alliance, convened by the UN Women to Dismantle Harmful Stereotypes across local advertising industry. Steve Abayeko, the creative officer, Extreme Ideas, and president of the Association of Advertising Agencies of Nigeria, AAN, shared this in an exclusive interview with Marketing Edge. The Extreme Ideas boss revealed that changing such perception is one of the goals he set out to achieve in his role as AAN president and CEO of Extreme Ideas. He emphasized the urgent need for people from all walks of life to boldly stand up in raising their voices against inequality, adding that eradication of such strengthens economies and builds stable, resilient societies that give all individuals, including girls and women, the opportunity to fulfill their potentials.
The whole essence of our Stereotype Alliance is stopping negative stereotyping of women in advertising. I think about time we stop doing that. You know, in the past, you see the role of women is not as rounded as it should be. So it's either you put the woman in the kitchen to be cooking. I'm like, what's wrong with the man cooking? I mean, you have two hands just like anybody else. You should be able to do that. Or try to continue all of those stereotypes that don't flatter women, e.g., women can't drive. It's just not true. I know women who drive and really, really blow your mind with their skills and their dexterity. So those are some of the things that we're hoping to correct, and it was a good thing that we partnered with On Stereotype Alliance to be able to work on that going forward in Nigeria.
Well, that was brand news. Next is branding forecast after this break.
Sure, Danny. This one where you did Christmas mood, so see you with this and this and this every day now. Christmas with Glow Berekete plus. Now I feel listen to all my favorite jams all night long.
Glow Breakator Plus is here, and every day is now Christmas. Existing Glow customers will get 400% bonus on every recharge and 100 MB data bonus on first recharge of the month. New Glow customers will get 1,000 Naira welcome bonus. To activate, buy a new Glow SIM today or dial *777# for existing Glow customers.
Every day now Christmas with the Glow Berekete plus.
Easy mission. Service, Glow Unlimited, better don't come, better business for Nigeria, for Africa, and the world.
From all of us at Glow, we wish you joy unlimited.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand ideal.
Now on Brand in Focus. As Nigeria looks ahead to an anticipated, more manageable COVID-19 pandemic crisis, there is a need to look at the media buying and planning opportunities and challenges expected in 2022. What will continued economic recovery look like in that subsector of the integrated marketing communications, and how will businesses move forward safely this year? Marketing intelligence and survey revealed that practitioners in the media buying and planning are optimistic about the year 2022, as it is a year for preparations for election campaigns, not forgetting the advertising industry standards of practice ISOP guidelines and the Omicron variant of the COVID-19, to mention a few. For Dr. Ken Ikpe, Group CEO inside Redefini, 2022 will be an extension of 2021 and can only be consolidated on the new ways practitioners have learned in 2021. So, businesses that are re-engineered, refocused, and understood that the major factor of production is the human being and technology before finance, those businesses will succeed in 2022. Dr. Ikpe predicted that the shift may not necessarily come from the traditional media platforms, which are radio, TV, and out of home, because more and more attention is being paid to digital platforms given their high level of engagement. The growth that will come in billing will come from digital budgets, and it will also be because 2023, unlike all other election cycles, will be the election of the youth. We saw what happened with NSAS, and we saw the anger that followed it. And we now realize that the level of poverty many have experienced in the last 2 years, people are beginning to realize that there is a nexus between leadership and people's welfare. Therefore, a lot of engagement, and especially for the youth, will happen in 2022, so expect very interesting times. However, Dolapo Ogubabo said media buying and planning subsector, like other sectors of the economy, is not out of the woods, while projecting that digital platforms will play a vital role come 2022. He predicted that one of the things the industry will witness in 2022 is the stabilization of exponential growth in digitization. He is optimistic about the growth while maintaining that the businesses that will survive in 2022 are businesses that are, in terms of structure, very lateral, very flat, dynamic, and are nimble in their approach. On his part, Emeka Okeke, founder, group CEO, Media Fuse Densul International, projected a better 2022 while hoping that Omicron virus doesn't spiral out of control. He also envisioned that somewhere around October 2022, people will be running campaigns for 2023 general election. In conclusion, the experts projected an increase in media clutter as brands jostle for media premium space and entrance of new advertisers in the traditional media space, especially fintech companies. They also forecast an increased competition in key industries like financial services, FCMG, and mobile payments, by hoping that new regulations from APCOM through the instrumentality of ISOP will positively affect payment terms and rules of engagements. When I was branding Focus, next is Industry Conversation, where we have interactions with distinguished personalities who have made tremendous impact in the field of advertising, marketing, and communication. And today, we have with us the founder and chief creative officer of Noah's ARK Communication, Mr. LANRE ADISA, after this break.
Now everybody knows I'm the man.
Enjoy the reward that sharing brings with the Airtel Family Plan. Get bonus talk time, SMS, and data for each family member you share with. Dial *141# now.
Airtel, the smartphone network. Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand ideal.
Hello and welcome to Industry Conversation, a segment on Marketing Edge on TV, where we have interactions with professionals in the integrated marketing communication industry. Well, today on Industry Conversation, we have with us the founder and chief creative officer of Noah's ARK Communications, Mr. LANRE ADISA. So pleased to have you with us on Industry Conversation.
Thanks for having me. Good.
Well, LANRE ADISA is the founder, chief creative officer of Noah's ARK Communications, a leading independent agency which is a regional member of the LARIS Awards Committee representing West Africa. He is an accomplished creative leader who has groomed many young creative talents in a career spanning about 3 decades. More importantly, he has been instrumental to the growth of some of Nigeria's major brands by directing the creation of existing and exciting advertising campaigns. So pleased to have you with us. You're welcome again to Industry Conversation. And congratulations on your recent win at the 2021 LARIS Awards.
Thank you.
Can you tell us how you feel about this iconic feat?
Well, I mean, there's not so much to be talked about, apart from the fact that at every point in time, you want to strive to be at your best. And you never can tell what the juries, would decide. So it's one thing to enter, it's another thing for the juries to find you worthy, of being rewarded. The CEO of LARIS this year said that whoever gets to be on the shortlist for starters, I mean, it's a great accomplishment. That you are able to pick any metal for that matter, then that is something really, really great. And it's not just about Africa, it's also about the Middle East. So for that reason, it's something one is really pleasantly, grateful for. You can't determine exactly what will be rewarded. that's the reality of our watch. Yeah.
Yeah. So interestingly, your agency has been a recipient of several awards within and outside the country.
Yep.
So what would you say is the impact of these recognitions on the Nigerian advertising industry?
I think it's great for our industry. If there's anything that is actually differentiating our current generation of art practitioners from those, before us, is the fact that we have been more visible on the global stage, unlike before now. As a matter of fact, I remember the cry then used to be about, Nigeria is not here, Nigeria is not there. I mean, and I think Cannes is always the hallmark. Everybody wants to win a Cannes, but it's not about winning a Cannes alone. It's about being recognized internationally, and I think that's what we've been able to achieve this past, decade and some more. It's not just about Noah's Ark. You also see, a few other new generation agencies and some of the old ones are also picking up stuff. So it is good for us because all those things add up in terms of how people rank you. For them to know anything is happening in Nigeria, it needs to be seen that, look, in those places where, creative excellence, matters, we are being represented. And I think that's the beauty of, winning this, not just for you as an agency, but for the industry. Okay,
talking about representation of the Nigeria creative before the international space, we would like to know what birthed this vision to start Noah's Ark, communications agency.
Well, I always tell people that I'm the accidental entrepreneur. It was not something I spent all my life, hoping for that one day I'm going to set up an agency. But I thought that our industry needed some competition, and I was ready to risk everything to be part of that competition, so to say. I recognize and I respect the generations before us, the great achievements of the likes of, Mr. Biodun Shubanjo, Chief Odunsi, Sir Mojafo, and the rest of them. And of course, those who even came after that, the prima guidance of this world, the S1 of this world. But I thought that for my generation, those of us who started in 1990, late 80s, early 90s, there wasn't any particular agency that was representing that generation that I could really look up to and say, wow, I love what they're doing. And the thing about clocking 40, I was going to be 40 that year, and I thought, what next? And what will be the legacy that you leave behind? So here we are, over 10 years after that. And I think, that, the insight that led to that thinking, I think is being justified by what has happened in the past 13 years of Noah's Ark.
Indeed so. Noah's Ark is a shiny example of the dictum, think global, act local. So how convenient or challenging, or both, has this been?
Well, I don't think it is too much of an issue. I think in terms of our vision, we never saw competition as being limited to Nigeria. I mean, when you do that, you limit yourself. Yes, our market is Nigeria. Our market is Africa. And the vision from the beginning for us has always been that, look, we want to be in the league of the most successful brand builders out of Africa. And that means that at every point in time, we want to be in recon. It doesn't mean that I want to be number one. Nobody can be number one forever. I mean, look at the league, any football league anywhere in the world. No one team can be on top of that league every year. It's not possible. But you will always know who are the top contenders, and that is where we want to be. That when it comes to the best of brand building, marketing communications in whatever ramification it is, we want to be in contention at all times, especially out of Africa, because that's very important for us. That Africa needs to add its voice to that global conversation. And Africa, by Africa, I mean not just South Africa, because over time it's always been about South Africa, which is okay, right? But there are other parts of Africa, especially West Africa, because every other part of Africa seems to be, relatively well represented. Southern Africa, with South Africa, they're doing very well. East Africa, you have Kenya, coming on. And of course, North Africa, there's Egypt, there's Tunisia. So West Africa is the one that doesn't get that kind of recognition. And we thought, we could do that. And we can, with all sense of modesty, I think that is being accomplished, every passing year.
Yes, and it's also pleasant to note that we are amplifying the African voices through our creative solutions.
Sure.
So talking about campaigns, we would like you to talk a bit about the campaigns that won Noah's Ark Continental and Global Awards and recognition over the years.
Well, I mean, there are quite a number, but I'll probably just highlight one or two of them. I remember we did some proactive work for a client of ours, Hypo, which won us, I think, our first Loris Silver, the one about the Oscar, So White. That was the year of Oscar So White, and we thought there was an opportunity. Here's this bleach brand. I mean, the last thing you think about when it comes to bleach is anything that could really trend. And everybody was all about, oh, you know what, Oscar this year, it's all about white, nominees, no, no other, color, so to say. And we love our whites, so we thought, you know what, we could really jump on that as a trend. And we came up with this ad with the Oscar statuette that's been bleached white, and that went really viral. I mean, we got a journalist from New York, interviewing our creative director on that particular campaign. Valid material, because there's a particular gallery in the U.S., in New York in particular, that collects posters from around the world. They actually demanded for a copy, so have it there. Somebody was writing a book as well, asked for permission to use it, and of course it won us the Loris. So it's the kind of thing that we love to do, and that was really good. Another one I would like to talk about would be the Airtel commercial. The two Airtel commercials, actually. The first one I won was a Gold Picture Award. Gold Epica Award. That was the Lost commercial, the one with Gabriel Afolayan. We won a gold for that, at the Epica. And of course, we also won Agency of the Year for the continent at the Crystals for Airtel Army, with Mama Rainbow, the prayer thing. I mean, I thought that was really wonderful. I mean, to think also that was done in Yoruba, and this was, well appreciated by that jury in Marrakesh that particular year, and we got Agency of the Year for that.
So, is there any award that came to you as a surprise?
Everything comes as a surprise. Like I said, you never can tell what a jury will, okay. I mean, a particular jury might look at a piece of work and say, wow, brilliant. Another jury might look at it and say, we don't know what they're trying to say, or we don't feel it's delivering anything. I mean, sometimes you probably will have high expectations on some piece of work, but you leave it to the judgment of the jury at the end of the day.
True. So is there any one of them that actually gives you this special feeling of joy?
It's asking a parent, the particular child that that you love the most.
Yes.
It will be difficult for me to do that. Every piece of work is very important to us. I mean, look at it this way. The one that we won for this year at the Loris will not be a very famous brand in that sense. It's an NGO, the Stop Cutting, but the issue is so big. And, for me, that means a whole lot. So it's not just about the usual suspects. Oh, they will win with a big account like Airtel or this or that. No. Everything matters. Every award matters.
Okay. So the Nigerians' creative industry witnessed an impressive level of global recognition this year. So what would you attribute to the factor as a factor for this laudable development?
I think it's encouraging. I think it only tells us that in terms of the state of our game, that we are seeing beyond what we've always done in the past, which is just the competition is here. We're actually raising the game. That's what it means. The standards are getting better, I believe. I mean, that's why it can be recognized locally, globally, that we're doing some good work. So, because sometimes we tend to belittle ourselves. We tend to think, oh, there's not much is happening and all that. But it only says that, yes, we may not have probably, arrived there exactly in terms of where you have in mind, but, we're on our way there. And we need to just stay consistent and be faithful to that mission.
Okay, so can you assess the creative industry in Nigeria, comparing Nigeria to other countries?
Well, it's not about comparison, and I think, so we don't mix things up. Okay. I think there is a new movement of sorts. There's a new generation of agencies coming up, and And that is the good thing, really, because that's what really tells you that there is a future for the industry. Okay. You know, that yes, the old guard, you know, will still be relevant, and they're still around, and we hope to see them around for a long time. But it doesn't really help if you're not growing, you know, the industry by having new people come on board. And that is what we're beginning to see. I mean, if you take a look at the last Life Awards, you know, quite a number of young, you know, up-and-coming agencies, you know, were recognized on that night. And I think for me, that is good for our industry. It signifies growth. Otherwise, it's the same old, and I don't think that would be good for any industry. So the industry is getting better. The practitioners are demanding more of themselves. And you know, we live in a global world where information is fluid, is all over the place, and people benchmark themselves against the very best around the world. And I think that's the only way we can get better. And so that's what we're beginning to see. I can only hope that we can sustain that so that going into the future, we all can be very proud of our industry.
Okay, so what would you attribute to being the factor responsible for the growth of industries, I mean agencies this year?
Well, I would say that because there is some dynamism already, you know, being established by the players in the industry, you know, old, young, and people can see that, look, it's an open, you know, field for you to thrive and be at your best. And I think that's what we need. We need talent that can be fearless to really go places, and that's what we're beginning to see. There's a whole lot more we can do, no doubt about it. But I think, by and large, I feel confident because, again, the way the world is today, communication-wise, digital is on the rise. So the access to creating stuff is easier, and you know, there's user-generated content that, if you're not careful, will beat whatever you're doing as well. I mean, of course, you also have your influencers and all sorts of people. Almost anybody can create. Okay. So for you to actually, you know, say that you are an advertising agency or in one form or the other, you really have to beat all those, you know, all those factors, you know, around you. You have to justify why, you know, you are who they call you to be. Yeah. So that's where we are, and I think we'll see more of that dynamism going forward.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand ideal.
Well, that's the much we can take on Marketing Edge on TV this week. Do well to join us again same time next week for the second part of our conversation with the founder and Chief Creative Officer of Noah's Ark's Communication, Mr. LANRE ADISA. I'm Ogali Abikele Mafuru. See you again.
TVC News first with breaking news.
We cover the big political stories in Nigeria, but people want more than just politics.
Business news, sports naturally, but you need news to live by also.
Stories about education, health, personal finance, and hey, even lifestyle news.
Newspaper reviews, travel news, and much more.
Nigeria, it's more than just politics. It's life.
Start your day with us every weekday.
TVC News Breakfast. First, fast, balanced, and accurate.
TVC News first with breaking news.
We remain bullish in our approach to developing Oyo State.
receive a